The last couple of years have been pretty generous to Resident Evil fans. Capcom's been on a bit of a roll, showing that remaking their classics in their RE engine is what times are calling for. They're reminding us just how sharp their old school survival horror roots still are. With Onimusha even popping back up, a series I honestly didn't expect to see return anytime soon. Nice. But there's still one name missing from all of this, one that's been left buried for far too long. Dino Crisis. With no remakes, no sequels, just silence. Dino Crisis 2 traded its survival horror roots for something faster and louder. But even with all that arcade style scoring and explosions, it still managed to hang on to that strange, lonely vibe. That vibe like you've never really belonged in the world it dropped you into. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for this series, so it's honestly crazy that it's been left for so long. So today we're jumping straight back into that lost world, venturing again into that jungle with Dylan and Regina, digging up any fossils and background lore we stumble across, and along the way, clearing up why this game still gets talked about and why it deserves to return. As we get into the repercussions of chasing Dr. Kirk's third energy data in Dino Crisis 2. Regina returns in the sequel to Dino Crisis, this time as an advisor to the trap team. But don't worry, she doesn't take a back seat. There's going to be plenty of playtime with her, including this cool ass underwater section. The trap members are on a mission to rescue lead researchers and remaining survivors and to gather information on third energy data. They time travel to another time and things go wrong quickly. Amidst all the chaos, the legendary T-Rex emerges. The crew's in a bit of a tight spot, but another trap member intervenes just as the team is about to become toast. Do T-Rexes eat toast? Yeah! This allows the duo to reposition and escape, but the injured T-Rex is now on a warpath. They reach a dead end, and with the T-Rex close behind, requiring quick action. Once again, it's a situation where if you don't check yourself, the T-Rex yourself. Let me just rewind for a second and explain how we got here in the first place. Dino Crisis 2 takes place 1 year after the first game, with Dr. Kirk's third energy research getting handed over to a government agency. Unfortunately, their careless experiments lead to a catastrophic accident, causing their base and a nearby town to vanish, only to be replaced by a jungle teeming with prehistoric dinosaurs. Dun dun dun! In the next scene, the two can focus on coming up with a plan. Experienced member and specialist Regina couldn't give a monkeys about the new guy and his squad.
I'm pretty sure my team's alright. Hey!
And proceeds to split up, leaving us to traverse the jungle up ahead with the new guy.
See ya, Mr. Barbarian.
Hey!
As Dylan plans to rescue the researchers and find his remaining team, he runs into some raptors. As we bury our opposition with our shotgun, Dylan comes across a survivor. But they're quick and evade Dylan.
Don't run away! Come out! We came here to rescue you!
He kinda looks unique too with the black helmet, reminding me of the band Daft Punk. As we continue down the next path with Dylan, he runs into a big ass blue container. You know, if it were me, I wouldn't be anywhere near a T-Rex, let alone throwing one-liners its way. Yeah, I'd be long gone. But Dylan, on the other hand, that's a bit of a different story, with the old thug mentality kicking in, which actually makes sense considering the guy used to run with gangs before he cleaned up and joined trap. So when the T-Rex rolls up on him, he's caught off guard like anyone would be, sure, but backing down isn't even in his vocabulary, holding his ground then like it's just another day on the job. Yeah, T-Rex, right back at you. You better check yourself before my boy Dylan over here wrecks yourself.
You one-eyed menace.
this?
Dylan can be seen escaping, but right when you feel he's in a good position to escape, Daft Punk show up. I mean the weird and cool helmet looking dudes from earlier. Dylan comes correct though as he dodges all his foes. Daft Punk are equally insane though as they totally ignore the freaking T-Rex in their vicinity. They seem to only have crosshairs for Dylan as he gets the heck out of there. Once everything outside settles down and everything is all copacetic between Dylan and his foes, we step into this medical room. Passing through it, we discover a note. As reading it serves to finally explain what's caused all this chaos in Dino Crisis 2 the player and the gang have entered into. The note reveals that the city and its inhabitants were thrust into the past, and how they've been surviving for a decade around all the prehistoric dangers we've been seeing so far. It even goes on to say that their medical supplies within the first year were all depleted, forcing them to rely on unknown wild plants for healing, and with their hope for rescue dwindling with each passing year, as they remain stuck with all the noisy creatures around them. I mean, yeah, I can imagine on one side they don't have to worry about bills or rent, but imagine never getting any sleep from looking over your shoulders constantly. The tiredness you're feeling and the bags under your eyes are going to be the least of your concerns. Know what I mean? After you're done reading this note, then it also helps tie things straight back to Dylan's opening line.
To step through a gate into another time. Or maybe it's another world.
Making it safe to assume this mission for Regina and Dylan's crew goes beyond rescuing these survivors, but now to untangle a disaster that's been unfolding for a decade. Stepping out of the building on a mission to gather more information, Dylan is still stalked by the T-Rex because it's got nothing better to do but ruminate over Dylan's taunts from earlier. Entering the next building with our new key, we proceed further only to trigger an alarm. Dylan radios his squad for help, leading to Regina answering his call.
I need your help. Over.
Did you swing your precious machete around? Well, I guess I can help you out.
With Dylan stuck, the game switches us over to SORT, Badass Regina. As we hit up the new jungle area, we encounter poisonous plants blocking the path. So to proceed, we need to find an alternate route. The new route up ahead introduces a mini-boss ready to get down. The points gained from defeating this mini-boss go nicely towards picking up the flamethrower from the save room up ahead, giving Regina a clear path towards Dylan's location. Meanwhile, Dylan is probably reading a book while he waits. In a potential Capcom remake, we might see Dylan flicking through YouTube shorts as Regina works on freeing him. Before that happens though, the laser disc throwing helmet baddies resembling Daft Punk show up.
Wait!
During the cutscene, Regina saves an enemy and decides to imprison her while figuring out what to do with these futuristic looking disc throwing nice people.
Listen, young lady. I don't want to do this to you, but you've left me no other choice.
Equipping the flamethrower, Regina can make it through the poison plant zone. The helmet baddies reappear. Regina destroys their discs effortlessly, allowing Regina to continue towards Dylan, past the dinos in the background, and finally frees him, while also filling him in on those helmet baddies.
Nice to see you too. You owe me one. I found a young female survivor, but she was uncooperative. I locked her up in the control shack. I'll take her back to the ship. You go on ahead. I'll meet you there.
In the next cutscene, Regina transports the prisoner to their ship and attempts to gather intel. Dylan then alerts Regina to something alarming.
It wasn't dinosaurs. Someone must have got in here and destroyed all the computers.
We can't get back to our own time.
It must have been those people with the helmets.
Before you go, handcuff the girl so she won't run away.
And the prisoner is loose? The mission now is to cuff the prisoner, find a way back to their own time, and locate parts for the ship.
There's a facility we haven't gone to yet. You gotta check it out.
Right.
In the next scene, as Dylan cuffs the girl, she starts to act strange, confusing him.
What are you doing? Stop it. What's the matter?
After this, we need to head to the facility Regina mentioned, but before we enter, we need to use our precious machete to gain access. Inside, it's quiet until... Exploring further, you can't help but notice the remaining parts of this facility are overrun by the jungle. A small dino with a sudden interest in Dylan's keycard shows up out of nowhere, forcing Dylan to chase it down. Once you retrieve this stolen item, Dylan can go about acquiring the starter battery. Completing one task will get the boat moving again, but not quite ready for time travel just yet. You can find another file here, and after reading it, we can head back to the ship and regroup with Regina. From a dino stealing our keycard to finding a missing person's cuffs, it's clear to see now that she waited for the right moment to escape. Regina joins us and Dylan explains how the new shiny party picked up lets them take to the ocean.
Still haven't found any survivors or helpful data, so we must move on and search elsewhere.
Yeah, I can see that. You know what else is weird? I've checked the stats on all the residents and soldiers, but I couldn't find any profile fitting her description. It's like she doesn't exist.
Well, I was thinking, maybe she's not one of the survivors at all. What if those helmet people are from a completely different time than ours?
What?
Never mind.
As they chart a course and set sail, water dinos surround their boat and attack.
We're surrounded.
Don't worry.
Good job, we're here. Sharp shooter, aren't you? Hang around the arcades much?
Next, we take Regina into a new area where she reads this diary and discovers she'll have to get more than just her feet wet to move closer to their next goal, which sucks for her. In the manager's diary notes, the mechanics from Edward City were supposed to check the third energy reactors as part of an annual inspection. However, the later entries mention that one of the engineers, Bob, hasn't returned. This is a problem because Bob has the key needed to enter Edward City, where Regina and Dylan are trying to reach to find survivors and collect the third energy data. We don't see Regina change into a diving suit, but we do see her struggle as she discovers she's not alone down here. The situation is dire due to the slow and restricted movement underwater, giving these aquatic dinos a significant advantage. You need to think carefully about your positioning and how you take out the enemies in your way. In the next room, Regina learns she'll be here a little longer as another key item is required to reach the third energy reactors where Bob is supposedly located, as mentioned in the most recent memo from earlier. Cool, right? More underwater enemies, more falling off ledges, and more challenges. Just you against these enemies here in the deep blue sea. The save store also adapts, offering equipment and weapons to help you in this section. It's also handy for clearing an obstruction in Regina's way, giving us access to the key item needed to reach this third energy reactor. And sure enough, we come across what looks like Bob from the diaries. And it looks like he's given up the ghost as we go about pocketing the key to Edward City. Now Regina can leave this dump behind and make for the surface. In the next scene, we can see why the levels of vulnerability here are realized.
Switching to emergency power.
As Regina is slow to recover, while the boss Dino throws his weight around and damages the reactors, causing a lockdown of this area, trapping Regina. Cool. After wrapping things up, the way forward is clear. Regina can finally get out of here and wash away those near-death moments and close encounters. So as Regina reaches the surface, she bumps into Dylan.
Welcome back. How's the water?
I don't recommend the diving in this resort.
Hey, this is David.
I knew you were alive.
Yo, Dylan! I found survivors here!
Really? We're about to give up. Where are you?
Place is Edward City. Hurry! They're...
And and after the codec call, Regina moves on ahead, leaving us to mow down the dinos with Dylan. Word up. The ivy-covered door leads to a cutscene where David has left a trail behind, making it easier for the duo to reach Edward City. The brief respite once escaping the lava cave is, well, brief. Regina gets caught off guard, but Dylan's got her back. He still needs Regina's help in signaling where to aim in this minigame. Progressing ahead eventually switches the roles, allowing Dylan to catch up while Regina lays down covering fire.
Nice backup! Your turn!
Okay, you better have good aim.
Good job. Let's go.
Up ahead, you pick up a file about a Triceratops, because in the next scene we encounter a...
Dylan! Over here!
Hope your arcade skills are up to par after a lot of shooting. The two can finally breathe, but just as Dylan compliments Regina on her driving skills...
Too close for comfort.
Yeah, that was some cool driving. Hey, Regina!
This happens. I love how on impact the Jeep just guns, dinos, Regina, and explosions. 10 out of 10. All the noise, however, attracts unwanted guests. And things aren't looking so good for the two. Once again, they get bailed out by fellow badass trap member, David. After this cutscene, the crew finally reach Edward City.
Let's go.
Right.
In the next scene, the heroics and explosions wear off, followed by sadness, as David informs them that all the survivors and researchers are all gone. Zilch, nada.
So we failed. How could we let everyone die?
So things aren't looking so hot, but Regina's coming up with solutions to the crew's problems. I guess all the times David's coming clutch for the two is starting to rub off on Regina.
Dude, even if we get the data, how do we get back to our time? The activator for the gate has been destroyed, right?
Gate is broken too. We can't get back to our own time.
It must have been those people with the helmets.
That's why we need that data. If we study it, we might be able to build another gate to go back.
Fine. Let's split up and search the town for the data.
David, let's go.
The cutscene ends, but the feeling of uncertainty from it lingers as Dylan goes about sweeping the city with the soundtrack filling in the ambience, along with humans and dinos littering the city streets. We come across the shop owners now and quickly realise the remaining military in the city isn't here to save anyone. Instead, they've retreated into the jungle with a desperate plan to fire a third energy missile in an attempt to cleanse Edward City of every living thing, including Dylan, Regina, and David. I think what's most striking about all this though, on top of all that, this note can be found right after the city's devastating dinosaur attack from earlier, and also factoring in there's no date or time on the note, makes the threat feel ambiguous and immediate, as if the note was quickly written around all the chaos intended for anyone who might have stumbled upon it. And the other thing is, the game doesn't provide any follow-up on the soldiers' actions regarding that missile silo. This lack of information then naturally leaves us with that ominous feeling, as the thought of the missile launch hanging over us, foreshadowing a much larger crisis to come. But there's little time to dwell on this, as Dylan is soon blindsided by that injured T-Rex that's been stalking them since their arrival.
Oh man, this is just what I don't need. Okay, I got a big surprise for you.
But this time Daft Punk isn't around to get in our way, so Dylan jumps into a tank, giving us the chance to navigate and look cool, while simultaneously keeping the T-Rex off of our back. we can use a flash grenade to temporarily stop the T-Rex, allowing us to focus on clearing the debris in our way. Eventually though, up ahead, garage shutter doors and steep ledges from the start of the game prove to be the T-Rex's kryptonite. As Dylan moves further away, the T-Rex loses interest and heads in the opposite direction. Up ahead we can pick up an item that lets us backtrack into the poison zone from earlier in the game. But stay on your guard because those helmet kids, Daft Punk as I like to call them, are still around. They attack recklessly and then proceed to running away, almost like they're not from this time. Things start heating up for Dylan though when he's at the mercy of his enemy. An unlikely savior appears though, allowing Dylan to escape. Regina shows up shortly after.
What happened?
Next up, Dylan reveals that the pendant laying on the ground belongs to his sister.
What do you mean?
This necklace belonged to my sister who passed away.
What?
Well, I was a very different person before I joined the army. Just a worthless street thug. At the time, I was in a gang, and one day our rivals forced their way into my house. My mom and sister were. And they were... well, they're gone. And after that, I joined the army, and have spent every day trying to make up for the past.
Sorry to hear that, dude. After this cutscene, the game transports us back to the boat. Back in the boat now, the space-time equipment is still out of commission after Daft Punk trashed the boat from earlier. So with our new item, we can finally gain access to the deadly poison zone. Once we make it further in this area, and eventually into the data control room, at long last, Regina can finally attain the third energy data disk. If you pay close attention though, just as you exit the room, the music fades down. Yeah, nothing ominous about that, right? But hold on, just up ahead it gets classic when Regina encounters the T-Rex.
You again? Persistent thing, aren't you?
But something's off. The T-Rex distraction reveals another enemy, and dude, that dino makes T-Rex look not so big.
Fight!
It's hard to feel bad for T-Rex. It was a total menace back in Dino Crisis 1. Things start to get worse when the debris starts collapsing around Regina and decides to hightail it out of there. The action doesn't cease though and continues to get worse for the T-Rex up on the surface. In a shocking turn of events, the T-Rex is down. Permanently. Now the T-Rex has a halo above its head on its way to Dino Heaven, but the crew is now stuck with an even bigger nemesis than before. The T-Rex, as menacing as it was, had some boundaries, like garage shutters and steep ledges. This new enemy, I'm just gonna call it G-Rex. G-Rex on the other hand really doesn't care whether it's breaking down walls or just anything in its way. Next up, Regina, while catching her breath, is reunited with our boy Dylan. I'm not going to go into too much detail on how he got past the big ass dino outside, while Regina's out of breath and Dylan shows up like he's just strolled through the park on a Sunday. Anyways, the G-Rex mucks around outside so obnoxiously that it activates a triggering system.
That T-Rex is already...
Missile will launch in 10 minutes. Evacuate immediately.
Basically, it's about to get real if the two don't act fast.
I'll go in and shut off the controller. You go ahead and evacuate.
Okay, you be careful.
In the next scene, the G-Rex shows up. The game gives Regina 10 minutes to disarm the missile warhead. So all we gotta do is replicate what Regina pulled off a second ago with the flames. Once you get the technique down correct, you can easily go about backing up the G-Rex, Street Fighter style, Yoga Flame. After some back and forth between one device and another, the dino does its best to knock Regina off her game, figuratively and literally. Many Yoga Flames later, G-Rex finally succumbs to all the flames. After this, Regina can access the warhead and stop the timer. Once again though, everything goes eerily quiet. And all that can be heard are the sounds of Regina and metal. The sense of foreboding is fully realized when G-Rex swiftly rises and launches into a full-on assault like a teenager with enough sleep. At least the T-Rex knew when to call it quits. I miss you, T-Rex. The G-Rex is an absolute menace. Its little stunt reactivated the warhead.
Warning. Warhead armed. Evacuate immediately.
After this, Regina can rendezvous with the crew. Dylan keeps it cool, but David, not so much.
Come on, quick! Oh, give me a break, man! We're dead!
Can't say I blame him though, it's been pretty hectic since the start of the game. We get our next assignment, or should I say minigame.
Whoa! Let the men handle this. Let's go, bro.
Dylan needs to keep the dinos off David while he releases the lock for the water gates blocking their path up ahead.
Bingo! Dylan, let's go back.
Watch out!
David comes in clutch and saves Dylan, but at the cost of his own safety. But wait. David! Regina steps in and... Really, Regina? Well, like I mentioned before, it's been pretty hectic since the start. I guess all the actions of the day is finally starting to catch up with Regina. I mean, she's only been saving Dylan and mowing down all kinds of dinos in the jungle and underwater, but now Regina gets stage fright. Unacceptable. Because of her lack of action, we lost a good soldier.
I'll save you, bro!
A soldier that's been coming in clutch for you guys since the start of the game.
Eat this! You're toast!
When Dylan comes to, he's invited home from the kid who left her crew, the Helmet Gang, behind.
I don't understand. You want me to come with you?
From here, you'll need to keep the dinos off of her, similar to protecting David from earlier, while she gets to work on opening this big, futuristic-looking door. She runs ahead, leaving Dylan to solve puzzles and fend off dinosaurs, which is kinda strange, but either way, it's straightforward and keeps the game's pacing in check before the final section. Inside the facility, Dylan is puzzled by the hologram, but everything will come clear soon enough.
On August 10th, 2055, our Noah's Ark Plan became successful.
Year 2055? What's he talking about?
To save the dinosaurs, we transferred the dinosaurs to this time, 3 million years ahead of our time.
3 million years?
But there was another accident when we were about to go back. The gate disappeared and we were stranded in this time. There was no way for us to survive in this world, where dinosaurs now rule. We, the remaining survivors, hurried to recover the gate, but it's too late now. My only mission now is to protect my group. Please, take the children back to your time. And now, I should introduce myself.
It turns out that's his daughter, and the old man in the hologram is also Dylan.
You're myself in the future?
Please, say hello to Regina for me. I'm counting on you, Lieutenant.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crystal clear to me too. Paula opens up the locked door, but then the self-destruct system is activated by our familiar masked friend.
You turned it on.
Come on, let's have it. Die Hard action breaks out. The G-Rex pops in to see if Dylan needs a hand, adding to the chaos. If you thought the T-Rex was bad, you haven't seen anything yet. The G-Rex is on a whole other level, way more ruthless and destructive. Regina faced it once before and barely got out, and that fight was cut short. You're gonna need plenty of health kits to survive this next part. We can start by activating the computer on the left, endure the G-Rex's onslaught, Jeez, look at this thing go. It's pure madness. I mean, a massive laser from the heavens in the end is what it took to stop this G-Rex for good. Dylan finishes what Regina started, ensuring the G-Rex won't be coming back. Dylan then joins up with Paula to activate the time gate as instructed by his future self. Regina then appears, seemingly unbothered by the massive G-Rex sized hole outside or even the chaos around it. Anyway, no time for biscuits and tea.
We don't have much time left. Let's use this gate and get out of here. Whoa! Paula!
With Regina having no idea why Dylan cares so much about Paula, and I get it, there's not enough time for that. From there, the time gate then kicks in, but Dylan wants Regina to go solo while he stays behind, as things start falling apart, leading to the inevitable.
I won't leave Paula.
Are you crazy?
Regina too has come a long way in working with and supporting Dylan. Once again, she successfully completes this mission, escaping the voids of this third energy saga. However, there's no time for celebration. As this cutscene shows, everything is falling apart around her. This time, the weight of survivor's guilt hits her hard. She's witnessed the loss of many soldiers, including David from earlier. And Dylan is now trapped too. The pain in her voice and eyes is palpable, capturing her grief and despair, even in this brief moment.
Dylan, what are we gonna do? If we don't go now, we'll never get back.
There's a gate behind the door. The gate is not complete yet. You'll be able to use it only once.
Papa.
Paula. I know you don't want to, but you have to go back by yourself. I won't leave Paula.
Are you crazy?
Just go, please. When you get back to our original time, use the data to learn about third energy. Then build a perfect gate and come pick us up for the last time.
Dylan. I will. I promise. Don't forget, you still owe me one.
Well then, you better get back quick.
Honestly, I wasn't sure how to feel about introducing a new character at first, but Dylan turned out to be just as cool as Regina. His backstory, trying to redeem himself after what happened to his family by joining the army and working his way up the ranks, gave him real depth and grounded him in the series alongside other characters like Rick and Gale from the first Dino Crisis. So just like he climbed the ranks in the army, he quickly climbed to my list of all-time cool characters. But even if that wasn't enough to win you over, I think by the end of the game it's hard not to feel for him, because Dylan's final choice of staying behind to look after Paula, even if it meant giving up his own way home, wasn't just selfless, but the kind of gesture that sticks with you, because in the end it didn't just go towards saving the mission or fulfilling future Dylan's request to save Paula, but it also gave Regina, the character we've followed since the first game, the strength and the purpose to carry on and finish what they started. That moment wrapped up Dylan's arc perfectly. He might have just started as just another soldier, but by the end his actions left an impact that shaped the entire ending. Looking back then, the price of freedom for everyone in Dino Crisis 2 was steep, all because of the government's reckless mishandling of Dr. Kirk's third energy. Speaking of mishandling though, I've always felt the way the series continued after Dino Crisis 2 could have been so much better. I'm not against the follow-ups existing, but the way Dylan and Regina's story was left hanging like that, it definitely deserved more than what we got with Dino Stalker and Dino Crisis 3. Instead of building on what came before, the series took a hard detour, first with a disconnected light gun spin-off, and then with a sequel so far removed from the original concept it barely even felt like the same franchise. Comparing it then to other games like Okami or the 2008 Prince of Persia that also had spin-offs related to those games, they didn't derail their reputation the same way the spin-offs and sequel did with Dino Crisis. And that's probably why the series went silent with no proper send-off and no real follow-up either.
That's disgusting.
But just a franchise then left frozen in time. With all of that then, honestly, looking at the state of the series now, it's hard not to wonder what could have been. There's no telling what Capcom's got lined up next, but with the surprise reveal of Onimusha Way of the Sword bringing that series back with a fresh story and a new character powered in that RE engine, it does give you a little bit of hope that Dino Crisis may return one day.
This isn't a joke, you idiot.
Whether it's in a full-on reboot like Onimusha or even a faithful remake, we'll just have to wait and see. If you haven't already, check out my other video breaking down the story of Dino Crisis 1 and the impact Third Energy had in that game.
See ya, Mr. Barbarian.